Want to dress up regular store-bought ice cream for a party? Then make my red berry ice cream bomb. Cut into the layers and you'll get tangy raspberry sorbet and 2 layers of creamy ice cream, garnished with a drizzle of strawberry sauce. If you've got raspberry sorbet, strawberry ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and frozen strawberries and syrup, then you've got everything you need to make my red berry ice cream bomb. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. Okay, so we're going to start out by spraying the inside of a 2-quart glass bowl with a little bit of cooking spray. Then we're going to line the inside of the bowl with 2 large pieces of plastic wrap that I'm going to place over the bowl in a cross. Just gently press the plastic into the bowl up against the sides. The cooking oil spray helps the plastic stick to the sides of the bowl. Having the plastic in there will make it a lot easier to unmold. Make sure there are no air bubbles. Set the bowl in the freezer and make sure it's level and secure. And at the same time, I'm going to take out my 2 pints of raspberry sorbet. Let them sit at room temperature until they're just barely spreadable, about 10 minutes or so. Now that my bowl is nice and chilled and my sorbet has softened slightly, we're ready to get layering. I use an ice cream spade for this, but you can also use a large spoon. And we're going to scoop out slices, if you will, of the sorbet and just start putting it in the bowl. Don't worry too much about where it's going or if it's fitting in or even if it's even quite yet. You'll see. It'll all work out. Now I'm going to start spreading it. I've left a little bit on the side just in case I need to patch some areas. But I'm going to start spreading with the back of the spade to try and even out the sorbet. Don't worry about it being too perfect. It's really not about a perfect thing. And I'm also making sure that the sorbet is firmly pressed against the inside of the bowl. So I can tell here that I've got a couple of thin areas. I'm going to put this extra sorbet in. You'll end up with probably about 3/4 of an inch of ice cream all around. And my last step for this, I'm going to take another piece of plastic wrap and using my hand, I'm just going to really press it in. This will also help make a nice flat edge. There, I think that looks great. And now it's ready to go back into the freezer to firm up. And while it's doing that, we'll take the strawberry ice cream out and let that soften. Okay, so now that my strawberry ice cream is softened, I'm unwrapping my bomb, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the raspberry sorbet. I'm going to scoop out and layer inside the mold, and just like before, we're going to use the back of the spade to spread the ice cream in an even layer. Make sure to get all of that ice cream there. It's too good to pass up. And I'm going to use the plastic wrap just to make sure it's nice and even and pressed up against the raspberry. Try and flatten out that top a little bit. Again, we're not looking for perfect. Now I'm going to pop it back into the freezer, and at the same time, I'm going to take out our last ice cream, the vanilla. Now that my vanilla ice cream is nice and softened, we're going to do the same thing we did before, but we're simply going to fill up the middle, pressing in as you go. And you know, I've used these 3 flavors, but you should feel free to use whatever combination of ice cream and sorbets that you'd like. And then spread it over the center. Cover with a fresh piece of plastic, pressing down so you have a nice even layer. So now don't worry about how it looks right now because this will actually end up being the bottom, so you won't even see this. Fold up the plastic around your bomb. Now we're going to freeze the entire bomb for about 6 hours until it's nice and firm. I've thawed 2 10-ounce packages of strawberries with syrup, and I'm going to cut them open and pop them into the food processor. And now I'm going to process until they're nice and smooth. Now I don't like the little gritty seeds in my strawberry sauce, so I'm going to strain it through a fine mesh sieve. And then use a spatula just to help nudge it through the sieve. Once your sauce is strained, pop it into the refrigerator until you're ready to use it. So when you're ready to serve your bombe, you want to take it out of the freezer, unwrap it, and then take your serving plate. Mine has a little rim just in case it melts a little bit. Flip it over. And now, holding on to the plastic wrap with one hand, lift the bowl, gently tugging on that plastic wrap. And then peel the plastic off. And then if you want to, you can smooth it out. But I like all the ridges. I think that that rustic look is really nice. I will take a damp towel and clean up the edges here. And then using a knife that I'm dipping into hot water, wiping clean, we're going to cut into wedges. Dipping and wiping in between each slice. Okay. And then I like to use a pie server to lift my wedge of bombe out. And then I serve it with a drizzle of the strawberry sauce.